Hello, it is your sleepless guy back with what if Percy was trained by Persephone and Hades? So, before we start the video, I just want to remind you guys to comment down below and like this video if you actually like this, and comment down other ideas because I like sometimes your ideas are beautiful. And not gonna lie, sometimes your ideas are stupid, but I have some stupid ideas too. I just got some ideas. You know how it goes. But let's start the recap. Last time we left off, um, they started going to the Sea of Monsters and basically trying to get through that area. Percy had to do some things that he didn't think he could do or even have possibly done, aka controlled the sea in such a way where the whirlpool that they were sucking up stopped in place, and he could control it for a good, I would say, minute 25 seconds, with him stopping time as well throughout to make them the ability for the monster on the hill and the entire whirlpool not to get them entirely. Uh, they make it through, but the ship is so much damaged that they have to get out. Percy, with help from his friends, get onto the safety raft, but Luke, being like trying to be the hero here, trying to get also with Percy saying to Luke, get Tyson, get him. My brother can't die here. Kissing Talia and running back in, trying to get Luke. They see the heat going up, and Percy, with his last bit of strength, uses time stop one more time to grab Luke and get him mostly the way out until kaboom. They see the engine blow up as Talia and Annabeth both slash the ropes down on the lifeboat, crashing it, and Talia using just her entire staff as basically a launch point, and Annabeth using the winds just to getting them as far away as possible to them. As they finally make it as far as possible, as with the last bits of strength that Percy has left, he yells out his brother's name, Tyson. Tyson! Tyson! As kaboom. It explodes, the ship explodes, and Percy just falls down and passes out. As that's where we left off last time. Let's start the video as with luckily enough with Percy basically being unconscious and not having the ability to control the boat. Annabeth, Talia, and Luke, basically Talia using her lightning, and Luke and Annabeth basically just row you boat down the stream as they went down, just getting as far away as possible, as they finally made it to the Sea of Monsters, but they have still a long way to go. As they keep on going, and after a while, Percy wakes up, and Percy is he clenches his hands like he instantly wakes up and just he almost instantaneously wants to dive into the ocean to try to find his brother, but Annabeth stops him and just says, he's dead, Percy. He's dead. And he actually has to lay down, his body almost collapsing on itself, because he lost a brother. Like, he didn't know him for long, but he lost a brother. He cared for this Tyson for all of his being. He cared for him because he had this issue with family. It's same thing like his mother. He died because of him. Tyson died. if Tyson didn't go on this mission, if Luke, not Luke, sorry, if Percy just decided not to wake him up or not to be woken up by Percy, and if he was more stealthy, nothing would have happened to Tyson. Tyson would have been the same. So he's blaming himself. He's laying on the ground and he just says, "Let's finish this off." He's angry at this point. He doesn't care at this point. He's in wrath right now as they make it to an island, as they see like Annabeth and Talia are looking at each other, and they know what Percy's looking at. Percy looks like a demon at this point, just saying he does not care what the other people think, he hasn't talked for almost a day when they got to this island. As they got off, they saw women, and instantly Talia in a circumstantive way, when they saw this island full of women, and beautiful women at that, instantaneously Talia went instantly to her boyfriend, instantly to her, and just was right next to him almost the entire time as he walking through. And Annabeth picked that up as well, but Percy did not. He's in blind rage right now. He's in such a furious moment of just destruction as this woman starts talking to him, but he's not even noticing what they're talking about. He doesn't even care. He looks at, all he's looking at right now is plans. How can we get this fleece as fast as possible? How can we get out of here as quick as possible? How can we get this done with? Because I'm going to rip the entire world apart. I will find my brothers Tyson in the underworld, and I'll bring it back. No matter what I have to do, no matter how I have to sacrifice, I will bring my brother back. Because that is the way of my family. I'm not losing another family member because of myself. And he sees the ships in the bank, and he's walking through them, but he's blind and he's deaf. He just doesn't see, doesn't hear. He's just like, as Annabeth is like, hey Percy, as this is where they're in the meeting room. As he's like, okay, I'm gonna go off. Are you okay by yourself? As Talia is not letting go at all. He's like, oh yeah, she's going, I'll go with her. He's like, oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. He's like, oh yeah, he's coming too. As he's like, oh, no boys. He says, oh, then I'm not going. It's like, oh, we can make an exception. It's fine. As Talia brings, but is Percy by himself in this room now? As when he's by himself and everything's quiet, everything's calm, he looks up and he realizes this woman is. He realizes what this woman has done. And he's finally hearing again, and he hears this squeaky noise. Squeak. And like male munching. And he looks up and he sees. He says, oh fuck. As she looks at him and just says, he says, you son of a fucking bitch. As it's like, I think as Percy, and she says, I know who you are. I know what you are. Some people called you a witch. You know that, right? I despise those people. And he points at her and just says, gotcha. I got you. And I gotta understand this. You were counted for one of the most, as he starts walking around, as showing, unclipping, and swinging around, riptide around, as he says, you're kind of one of the strongest witches I've ever seen, or strongest magecraft, witchcraft, wagecraft, same thing in my eyes. It's not, but okay. What is this ego that you're trying to do? Because I do not like men. You know I don't like men. Says, I know. but can you bring back the dead? Bring back the people that were gone before. Tell me, can you bring them back? As she has like a step back. It's like, you're asking me to do the unforgivable. And no, I can't even do that even if I had. Hades' realm is not mine. I cannot control it. As he pulls out his weapon, Riptide, and he just says, so you're useless to me, I hear. So, gosh dang, bro. I'm not making jokes, but as he's going for a swing as she casts a spell. And it starts to morph him, it starts to change him, and then instantaneously, boom, the chains of Olympus shine bright. Chains of Olympus, yes. No, his eye starts to glow a little bit as the magic rips off of him. As it's like, no, you can't. As just he brings down the sword, he's about to cut her, and he stops as he looks over at the cage right next to her, and he takes a step, still blade on him, and grabs a bag of gummy bears. And he opens it and he chucks one of them in there. As he starts, all he hears is nom 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 nom. As fully grown pirates, as he busts down the door, rush are fully grown, and he just says, "You're free, run." As they all rush out and they start causing chaos, as they start burning things, as the witch starts looking at him and just says, "You," as she grabs a bottle, as before she can even throw it, Annabeth smacks it out of her hand. It goes flying and she grabs it. As Annabeth looks at her and just says, with one hand on a dagger, one hand on the bottle, just says, kinda a little bit slow there, aren't you? As she looks at him and just says, looks at them both and just says, "You're a mongrel. You're awful." As one step, two steps, slice, as the woman's head flies off her body. As it drops, as Annabeth looks at him and looks at her and just says, "It's go time." As they rush out, as they see the pirates just burning and going. He says this is a perfect distraction. As Talia and Luke are just like, "Hey, what's going on?" Is like, as Annabeth says, "We'll talk about it later." As they rush to one of the pirate ships, both hopping on, and says, "Does anyone know how to control this one?" As when instantaneously Percy grabs the helm. He just feels this power and this influence, and he just says, "I got it," as he controls the entire ship to it and rips it off to sea and starts going. As the pirates start rushing out, like, "No, you cannot take our ship." As they grabbed like the little rowboat that they came in and started rowing after them, as the ship started moving nice and steady, and just says, as he looks back at the city or small town or island, is on fire. As Annabeth says, well, "So what was that for?" As he just says, "So no one else could be hurt this way. No one else could be stuck on that island." As he looks over and he sees like almost a clump of hair, but like just barely there yet, still fading off. Just like, no one can be stuck as a creature like that. And he looks over at the pirate ship, who is still sailing, as they can still see him yelling at the top of their lungs, "Give us back our boat!" As as Percy looks back and just says, "Why don't you catch us first, slowpokes?" As Talia just looks at him and just says, "Please don't aggravate the pirates. It is not a necessary thing." He's like, "I don't know. I thought it was quite funny." As this is where we're going to end off the video. I hope you guys like it. If this video gets 40 likes, 40 views by the end of today, I will instantly post a new one. Also remember, guys, that subscribe, let everyone subscribe. Grab your mother's account, subscribe. Grab your grandfather's account, subscribe. Don't steal anything, but still subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.